Hello, everyone. Today in math, we are going to be talking about money. I found a book that's called Money Madness that I am going to read to you. I'm not really great at being able to read in front of the camera, showing you the pictures, making sure that you can see everything. So we're all learning in this together. I'll give it my best shot. I'll read some and then I'll show you the pictures. Money Madness. With all this money madness, people talk about money and work for it. They seem to always want more of it. They look at a dollar bill. There's a nice portrait of George Washington on it, but it's just paper. Why do people want money? People want money because it can be used to buy things. Now, imagine a world without money. If you were hungry and there was no such thing as money, how would you buy a loaf of bread? You would have to bake your own. Without money, how would you get the ingredients for the bread? If no one would give you or sell you flour, you would have to grow wheat, harvest it, grind it, and sift it before you would have flour for your bread. That would be a lot of work. If there was no such thing as money and you needed new clothes, you would have to make them. Imagine if you had to knit your own sweater. Imagine if you had to raise a sheep and shear it and spin the wool to make the yarn and then knit the sweater yourself. Again, that would take a lot of work. There was a time before money. Long ago, people couldn't buy things. When they were hungry, they gathered berries and killed animals. When they were cold, they gathered wood for their fires. Before there was money, people gathered and hunted for whatever they needed. They were self-sufficient. Some people liked to hunt. They were good at it. Others were good at making clubs or clothing. Soon people traded one thing for another. A hunter traded with a food gatherer. A club maker traded with a clothing maker. A system of trading one thing for another is called bartering. Maybe you barter. Have you ever traded one toy for another? At lunch, have you ever traded an apple for an orange? That's bartering. However, there are times when bartering doesn't work. A hunter could trade an animal for berries, but how many berries? And what if the hunter didn't want berries? How would a baker trade for a house? How many loaves of bread would he have to trade? And why would anybody want so much bread? Long before a person could eat all of that bread, most of it would be stale. A hunter who didn't want berries might be willing to trade for them anyway if he knew that he would then trade the berries for something that he did want. A homeowner might be willing to trade her house for bread if she knew she could then trade the bread for something she did want. In those trades, the berries and bread would be a kind of money. At one time, cows, sheep, camels, rocks, feathers, salt, dried fish, fish hooks, animal skins, and strings of beads made from clamshells were all used as money. People valued cows, sheep, and camels, and they could always trade one of those animals for something they wanted. But what if something was worth just a half a cow? You wouldn't want to cut a cow in half to buy something. What if the sheep or camel you wanted to trade was sickly? You might have trouble trading it. When animals were used as money, your money needed to be fed. Your money could die or it could run away. Rocks were another early form of money. Rocks come in different sizes, but they're heavy to carry around. Feathers were used as money too. Feathers are light, but they can blow away. What was needed was something that wouldn't get sick, didn't have to be fed, wasn't too heavy or light, came in different weights or sizes, and most people wanted. Hundreds of years ago, people found that metals made good money. People valued bronze and copper, which could be cut into small pieces just right for carrying around. To know how much each piece was worth, people just had to weigh it. The heavier the piece of metal, the more it was worth. These pieces became our first coins. Then coins were made from silver and gold. People wanted silver and gold, so they were happy to trade for silver and gold coins. But carrying many coins was difficult, so paper money was invented. The first paper money was like a printed promise, a promise that money could be taken to a bank and traded for silver or coins. In the United States, people no longer use silver and gold coins as money, but paper money still has value because you can use it to buy things. You can use paper money to buy bread, furniture, and clothing. You can use it to buy a house. You can even use paper money to buy silver and gold. Each country has its own money. In the United States, people use dollars. In Mexico, people use pesos. In Israel, new shekels. In Russia, rubles. In China, yuan. And in Canada, dollars. In South Africa, rand. In Brazil, reais. People in many of the countries in Europe use euros. Here's all the different pictures of the different kinds of money from different countries. The value of money in each country keeps changing. One US dollar may be worth 10 Mexican pesos one day and a little more or less the next day. Your dollar may be worth 7 Chinese yuan one day and slightly more or less the next day. The value of each country's money goes up when the prices go down in that country. When that happens, the dollar buys more. The value of each country's money goes down when prices go up in that country. When prices go up, the same dollar buys less. When prices go down, the value of a dollar goes up. For example, when a scoop of ice cream costs $1, each dollar buys 1 scoop. If prices go down and a scoop of ice cream now costs just 50 cents, a dollar buys double what it bought before. Now a dollar buys 2 scoops of ice cream. The value of a dollar in relation to ice cream went up. As prices in a country go down, not just for the ice cream, but for many, even most things, the value of its currency goes up. Checks and credit cards are money too because they can be used to buy things. Some people even use digital money. With digital money, there is a computer record of the money in an account. When you spend that money to buy a book or download music, the amount you spend is subtracted from your account. Even though you cannot see the digital money, it's still money because it can be used to buy things. We no longer live in a world with just hunters and food gatherers. We live in a world with dancers, teachers, doctors, astronauts, dentists, and bakers. Without money, it's hard to imagine what a dancer would trade to buy a car. Without money, it's hard to imagine what a teacher would trade to buy a sweater. It's hard to imagine a world without money. Now, reach into your pockets. Do you have any coins? Do you have any paper money? If you do, you're probably pleased. You know, with money, you can buy things you want. With money, you can buy things you need. The end.